Welcome inside Pam Evans Smith Arena on the campus of Wittenberg University for the fourth and final semifinal matchup of the day for the Ohio High School Athletic Association Boys Volleyball State Championship Weekend. Along with Michelle Mimna, the head coach of Olentangy Berlin's girls team. My name's Chris Solwecki. Also, Teacher of the Year?
Oh, my God.
We'll talk more about it later. Michelle has been heaped with accolades across the board for being just an amazing person. And she is going to be calling the action here with me today. Really grateful for that. St. Ignatius from up Cleveland Way taking on, Hilliard Darby. The Panthers come in with a record of 21-5, 13-1 overall. The St. Ignatius team comes in with a record of 23-3. Each team played St. X. Each team lost to St. X. St. X is the first team that punched their ticket to the state championship game tomorrow. They will play the winner of this one. Michelle, as you think about these two teams and you think about a player to watch, certainly when you talk about St. Ignatius, you've got to start with Mr. Reagan.
Yeah, Mr. Reagan, the 6'7" sophomore, the second kind of all-state sophomore we've seen today. Jack Taggart I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind here, for St. Xavier.
Yeah.
But Jack Reagan, really just for his age, he's attended USA training camp. He's participated in OVR All-Stars for club for the last 2 years, USA beach training. This kid is a beast. And from what we've said or heard from others, they're a very tight-knit group that trust each other and are very much like a family.
Not just a beast in the way that you would anticipate, somebody who swings hard. He is 6'7", easily 210, and he is lean and mean, and he does hit the ball like you would not believe. At one point, we thought he put a dent in the floor during warm-up, so pretty impressive player to watch. How about for Hilliard Darby?
Well, we have to talk about Kingsley Aka, middle blocker, a little undersized 6'2", but, man, he jumps out of the gym and hits the ball just as hard as Mr. Reagan. So, oddly enough, those two are probably going to be matched up against one another. Mm-hmm. I would assume that Darby is going to put one of their bigger players up against Reagan, so that'll be an interesting matchup for sure.
Hilliard Darby got here as the number 2 seed in Region 3. They knocked off Middletown 3-0, Centerville 3-0, Hilliard Davidson 3-0, and then beat number 1 seed Thomas Worthington in the regional finals 3-1 to get to this match. As I mentioned, 21-5 overall, 13-1. They are coached by Evan Bell. For St. Ignatius, they were the number 1 seed in Region 2. They knocked off Holland Springfield 3-0, Cuyahoga Falls Walsh Jesuit 3-1, Massillon Jackson 3-1, and then Broadview Heights 3-0 to get to this place. They are 23-3. They are coached by Dom Adamato, who's in his 4th year. He's got a record of 76-29. The officials for today's match: William Alt is up on the ladder. He's referee number 1. Sandy Lauer is on the floor. She's referee number 2. Laura Rieger and John Topp are the line judges. Debbie Keller is the official scorer. Steve DeBacco is the assistant scorer. And so if you look at these two teams, you can see a decided height advantage for St. Ignatius. So talk a little bit about keys. I mean, it'd be easy for me to say, well, bigger means better. That's not necessarily true.
It's not. I mean, there is some merit to that statement. Certainly there is a size advantage for St. Ignatius, but you can adjust to that. You can be quicker if you're Hilliard Darby. You really, really focus on taking care of the ball. You cannot afford to have self-inflicted errors. So a quick-paced game with low errors, finesse against the block. If you're Ignatius, you kind of do what you've been doing all season. You trust the middle Carter or Slater. You get Reagan the ball. And if you're in system, you have an enormous advantage.
I got to ask, because we talked about this a little bit earlier, but when you walked into this arena tonight, just home sweet home?
Oh, geez. You're going to make me all, I played basketball and volleyball here. It was such a privilege. It was such an honor to be coached by Pam, the late Pam Evans Smith. I mean, she was just such a wonderful, wonderful woman, role model, coach, mentor. But people say, it's the best 4 years of your life. And I don't know what the best, but it was an amazing experience.
We'll talk more about that, no doubt, as we roll along. But right now we step aside as we join on this Memorial Day weekend for the singing and playing of our national anthem. Your national anthem played on this Memorial Day weekend from Wittenberg University, Pam Evans Smith Arena. Just about set to get going here. St. Ignatius in the white jerseys with gold numbers outlined in blue. Hilliard Darby in black jerseys, powder blue numbers outlined in white. And we are just about set to get underway. We were talking just before the break about keys. Darby undersized, we talked about that. It feels like Darby is one of those teams that just doesn't have any room for error. They have got to serve well, they've got to serve receive well. There's not a whole lot of room for unforced mistakes.
And they have to execute being fast, and sometimes that's really difficult to do when you have to tell a spherical ball where to go, and you've got to do it maybe faster than what you're used to. I mean, St. Ignatius, though, they can't take anything for granted. They certainly can't just walk out here as if Hilliard Darby doesn't deserve to be here and that their size has already dictated the outcome of the match. So I think that serving is going to be also incredibly important for both teams. But yeah, the size advantage is huge. But let's see the kind of speed that Hilliard Darby can play with before we make too many determinations.
I don't know if anybody saw it, but as Michelle was talking, Reagan came over and jumped high enough to touch the top of the antenna. Boys volleyball nets are 8 feet high, not 7'4" like the girls, so you've already got 8 inches more there. And then the antenna's what, at least a foot taller than the net?
Oh, it's 2 feet taller than the net.
So he just jumped up and touched the top of the antenna, which is 10 feet.
10 plus feet, yeah. Correct. Yeah. Yes, he did. He's probably dunking a basketball easily.
Easily, no question about it. So Darby getting set. Their libero is number 9, Alex Eldridge. He's in the alternate jersey. The libero for St. Ignatius is number 7. That's Max Arutinov. Sorry, forgive me. That number 7 is Seamus Walsh. And he is the libero. Serving is number 15, Adam Swiakowski. Back row, big swing. Great point for number 2, Aiden Kolb, right out of the chute.
Yeah, and again, he's their go-to in terms of their offense. He was the libero last year.
Exactly right.
And he just came out of the back row and said, "Hi, St. Ignatius, we're here."
And now he's serving. Quick hit across, and that's out of play. And so Darby quickly out to a 2-0 advantage.
Yeah, and again, just exactly what we talked about. You know, they're going to come out ferocious. There's no doubt they feel that they're the underdog, but they don't have to play like that.
Nice dig. Bump back. It's going to be a free ball across. Here comes Darby. Kolb. Quick one in the middle. Big swing. And number 17, Carter Pierce, puts it down. 3-0 Darby.
Yeah, and there's that speed. All right, they had a low pipe set in middle back. And here they had a zero-tempo ball in the middle, which means it's barely out of the setter's hands when that hitter hits it, and that's exactly what they need to do.
Kolb with a high toss, another big swing. Good reception. Quick one at the net. Dunk down, nice play. Number 6, Chris Slater with the win.
Yeah, really an identical play pace-wise for St. Ignatius.
Seamus Walsh to the serving line. Walsh serves middle back. Quick one in the middle, just out. But they've got a touch, and so the point. The official pointed the wrong way. That's what threw me off, because he called a touch and then he pointed to St. Ignatius. But the ball is going to go back to Darby, who leads it now 4-1.
Reagan taking issue with the touch call.
Carter Pierce to serve. Floater, middle back. Outside, here's Reagan. Dinks it across. They're going to call a net violation against Darby, so the ball goes to St. Ignatius. We saw the antenna move. Wasn't sure if that was a hand or the ball or what. Turns out it was a net violation.
Yeah, and it looks like, you know, on that one, that set was a bit tight for Reagan, but he was so far above that he was just able to put the ball about 20 feet deep over the defender.
Christian Aguirre with the serve, middle back. Back set, good swing, and unable to be handled by Aguirre. It went into his hands and fell out. Nice job by number 19, Chris Jones, on the kill. Jones now to the serving line.
And 6'5", one of their tallest.
Good serve receive. Reagan goes up off the fingertips of Jones. The point goes to St. Ignatius on the kill by Reagan.
Jones only a sophomore as well. We've got some youngsters on the court here for both teams.
Darby 5, St. Ignatius 3. Jack Reagan set to serve. A high toss, a big attack, and an ace. Right between Owen Friend and Aiden Cobb.
And that was really kind of a floater, but he had just enough spin on it that it dropped at the end line. And see, he tosses it and he puts kind of side spin on the ball, not top spin.
Another ace off the hands of Cobb, 2 in a row for Jack Reagan. 6'7" sophomore.
I mean, that's like an attack.
Yeah.
When you're serving, jump serving at 6'7", I mean, it's like digging an attack.
And there's another ace, the third ace in a row for Reagan. That one to the left side, to the right side of number 9, Alex Eldridge.
Did we say serve receive was going to be a key?
I think we did.
We should say that serve receive is going to be a key.
We'll fix it in editing. It'll be fine. Reagan serves that one long, and so the score is now tied. Darby got the point there, and they will get the serve back, tied at 6. Owen Friend, a 6-foot freshman outside hitter, to the serving line.
We do have the youngsters. The youngsters came to play today.
Good swing, good dig, but it's going to go out of play, so Friend couldn't corral it in play. 7-6 St. Ignatius, and coming on to serve is number 10, Will Overberger.
6'3" junior. Let's see if Darby can get in system here.
Floater. Big swing, just long. 8-6 Ignatius.
And that was Kolb. So again, expecting him obviously to have great control of the ball, having been a libero. Man, what a transition. Sometimes it's setter libero, but hitter libero is not always a role that you see back and forth.
Back row from Friend. Back row from Reagan. And that one's a point off the touch.
Not unexpected to see him get that really fast-paced pipe set. We've seen the outsides all day today. Use that as a offensive weapon.
Long one. Friend comes up with it. Height in the middle. Off the touch. Reagan comes up with it. Outside set. And that's a touch. And in. Number 34 with the kill. That's Sean Atkinson, the 6'3" senior outside hitter. And Will Overberger having a day at the serving line. This will be serve number 5 in a row. 10-6, St. Ignatius with the advantage.
After a really quick start, St. Ignatius has taken the lead. It was 5-1 at one point. Darby.
There's Cobb, but he hits it right into the block. And the man on the scene was number 6, Chris Slater.
And Slater at, I believe, 6'6" is going to be a problem for Kolb out there. Even though Andrew Brobby, the setter, is only 5'10" for Ignatius. Slater's going to take up the slack out there against Kolb.
Bump set from Height, called from way off. Dug out, outside. Into the block, well covered. Again, tossed across, handled. Height sends it to Kolb. Kolb, middle back. Reagan comes up with it. Near to the net, into the block, kept alive. Again, into the block and out of bounds. That time, Sean Atkinson gets the point.
And really good coverage by St. Ignatius on those multiple attacks by Sean Atkinson. Ultimately then using the block, and the ball's out of bounds.
St. Ignatius 12, Hilliard Darby 6. Timeout on the floor. We'll take it as well. We'll be right back with more. You're watching OHSAA Boys Volleyball on the NFHS Network. Our sincere thanks to Frank Stead and Brianna Stead, who are producing and directing our broadcasts all weekend long from Wittenberg University. Grateful to them. Grateful to you for joining us with Michelle Mimna. My name's Chris Solwecki. 12-6. St. Ignatius has the lead over Hilliard Darby in the second semifinal of the OHSAA Division I State Volleyball Semifinals.
Quite a run here that St. Ignatius is on.
And there's a way to break it.
Yeah, Chris Jones. Again, his athleticism is off the chart, and what great ball control, hand-to-ball contact there. They need to get him the ball more. I'm just going to make that statement.
They do indeed. Alex Eldridge now to serve it. Middle back, Reagan handles it. Outside. Kept alive, and now they're going to call a lift,
yeah,
against Darby. So
yeah,
go ahead.
It was definitely a good reaction, but when that ball rests at all in the palm of your hand, that's going to be that lift.
13-7 to the serving line is Andrew Broby. Height, good set, down the line, out of bounds. Good effort by number 17, Carter Pierce.
And again, we can see Darby attempting to run quick offense, and we said that's something that they had to do. Got to keep those in play.
Broby with the serve. Height outside. Kolb into the block. They keep it alive. Height again. Kolb again. Down the line, too long.
Darby having trouble right now executing in terms of keeping attacks in the court.
Ignatius on a 7-1 scoring run. Middle back. Height, quick one. Kept, no, they're going to say it wasn't touched at all. They're going to call it a 4-hit as the ball went into the net but not into the hands of the defender.
Again, I think Darby doing what they need to do. First set, a lot of volleyball, but they've got to execute on this quick offense.
Height to Kolb. Kolb with a great swing. Sends it past the Libros. Seamus Walsh.
Yeah, speaking of someone who can jump well, Kolb has got springs in those legs. There's a reason he's on the outside.
Adam Swiatowski checks in. And now it's Height to the serving line. Good dig, tight at the net, and they had to free it over. Height, back set. Jones down the line, out of bounds.
Darby right now hitting 0-6-2 in this set, just really struggling. 5 hitting errors we said they could ill afford to have.
Overpass that time, another mistake, and St. Ignatius makes him pay for it. That's number 6, Chris Slater, and a timeout taken on the court by Hilliard Darby. Ignatius, by the way, hitting .462, so Hilliard Darby hitting 0, and now that's just been adjusted to 500, so that says everything you need to know about how things are going so far in set number 1, even after Darby came out hot.
Well, and again, they came out, they attacked, but again, once you start to deal with a team that can be in your face with 4 hands, very long arms, they've got to execute. They're doing what they need to do when they're in system. but they're just not keeping the ball in play.
Yeah, Ignatius 3 fewer attacks, but 8 kills versus 6 and 1 error versus 6. So that's the difference in this, is they've made the most of every kill opportunity. Darby, about half of them.
Yeah, I think serving-wise, just the aggressiveness of St. Ignatius serve. Already 3 aces to 0 for Hilliard Darby, so scoring points there as well.
Back to the serving line out of the timeout is Adam Swiatowski. 6'2" junior outside hitter. Swiatowski with the toss, the skip forward, and the shot. Height set to the outside. Jones, big swing, too long.
And Jones is a sophomore too. He's still figuring it all out as well in terms of what he can and can't do. It was a great swing, just too long.
Height, quick one, down the line. That one's in. Good swing by number 17. That's Carter Pierce with the point. Breaks a long run, and now we'll see what Aiden Cobb can do from the serving line. High toss, big swing into the net.
Yeah, you get those jump spin serves. There's a high incidence of error.
Only the first serving error for Hilliard Darby. Good reception, back row. Height, quick one, into the block, out of bounds. So a good job by Pierce that time with a strong swing that was blocked out of play.
Yeah, and again, so typically you're seeing they ran that really quick middle play out of serve receive. Typically you don't do that because of the blocking, but if you see St. Ignatius doesn't have their big middle in, Slater, so that's a good play for them to run out of serve receive.
Jack Reagan from the left side sends it cross court for the point. 21-10, St. Ignatius on top. Christian Aguirre to the serving line. Aguirre is 6-foot defensive specialist. He's a junior. And he sends that one too long. So Darby down 11, and Chris Jones will go to the serving line. He could stand to put 3 or 4 together for the Panthers.
I mean, he's definitely got a serve that could cause some damage.
Good serve down the line, received well, outside to Reagan, off the touch, kept alive. Height, outside, Friend, way long.
Yeah, Hilliard Darby just hitting a little bit underneath the ball. I don't know if they need to kind of adjust the placement of the set to get that more in front of their hitters. Everything's deep right now.
Jack Reagan to serve. Good reception in the back row. Back set, Chris Jones down the line. What a dig by Seamus Walsh. They can't keep it in play as it goes outside the antenna, but Walsh with a great dig for St. Ignatius.
Yeah, that was impressive. I would have closed my eyes had I been digging that one. To Walsh's credit, he did not close his eyes.
He did not, you're right. 22-12, St. Ignatius with the lead. The serve in the hands of Owen Friend for Darby. Middle back set. Good swing, handled in the back row. Height, quick one, Jones into the net.
Yeah, that was mishandled by the setter, and then...
Sorry, that was Kingsley Aka with the hit.
Aka wasn't able to do anything with it. It was way too low. Height just didn't quite get both hands on that ball.
Will Overberger, he served well the last time he was there. This time an overpass. Ignatius asking for Height over the net, but the official says no. The point goes to Darby. And Alex Eldridge to the serving line, trailing by 10.
Well, again, the setters in the front row, they've got every right to be up there if that ball's even in the plane of the net at all. They have every right to it.
Height, quick one, into the block. They keep it alive. Nicely done. Friend and then Pierce. Quick one, tossed gently. They keep it alive. Free ball across. Outside. In. Sean Atkinson, cross-court winner.
Atkinson fired up, not happy that Darby was able to run off a few points there, kind of imploring his teammates to stay. It was either hungry or angry. It was one of the, or hangry. Maybe it was hangry.
So Andrew Broby back to the serving line. St. Ignatius has set point, 24-13. Broby with the serve. Friend receives it. Height keeps it alive, and they send it across. Nicely done. Back set. It's a good reception. Outside. Tipped across. Jones with the reception. Kolb gets the point.
I like that. I like that quick attack off of that tip. It was an easily controlled ball defensively, and that's what Darby needs to continue to do in this match.
Swiatowski checks back in for Ignatius, and to the serving line is Height. And it's wide, and that's how set number one comes to a close. St. Ignatius 25, Hilliard Darby 14. Set number one is in the books. Number two is around the corner. Stay right there. More volleyball to come on the NFHS Network. St. Ignatius hitting .409 through the first set. Jack Reagan at 4 for 5. He's hitting .800. Sean Atkinson 300 with no errors. He's 3 for 10. Chris Slater 2 for 3 with no errors. In fact, only one attack error for the entire team, and that's Luke Bender. So they're hitting .409 as a squad. 10 kills, 1 error, 22 attacks. Hilliard Darby on the other side just hitting .037. And really, Carter Pierce at 286, he's the only one really to write home about. Mason Heights 1 for 1, but the rest of them 0 or below.
Yeah, and again, those errors we talked about. They are obviously trying to play quicker, and those have resulted in some of those 9 hitting errors. 3 service aces for Ignatius, serving very, very aggressively. So scoring points there as well. But yeah, it's a tall task for Hilliard Darby. I did see that St. Ignatius lost to Darby earlier in the season in 5. You have to wonder if there was a missing player or just from our indications of the first set.
It is very possible. That was back in March?
Looks like it was mid-season. Mid-season, so late March.
A lot of volleyball has been played since then. Teams have gotten better. Injuries have gotten more nagging, perhaps. There's a good serve from Height to get us started. Ball comes back, Height with a bump. Kolb sends it across. Outside to Reagan, well off the net. He hits a roll shot. Height, back row, Jones. Dug out by Broby. Free ball across. Friend to Height, quick one. Pierce, but Darby keeps it alive. Here's Kolb, cross court. Walsh comes up with it. It's going to be a back row attack. Friend comes up with it. Height to Jones. Off the touch. Big, long rally. Back set. Off the touch. Trying to keep it alive. Height to the outside. Kolb dug out. Swiatkowski, he's going to go from the back row. Outside. What a swing. Goodness gracious, Aiden Kolb.
That sent Walsh jumping over the table on the sideline, wasn't able to get to the ball. Wow, that was one of the better rallies we've seen in either game, either Division I game today.
No question. And that athleticism of just jumping over the table.
I wouldn't walk after that. I'm just letting everybody know.
Serve off the net, dug out by Swiatkowski outside. Jack Reagan into the net. And the point goes to Darby. They're up 2-0.
Yeah, I know what he was trying to do. He wanted to cut that, but he cut it too much.
Darby was up early in set number 1, so while if you're a Darby fan, you got to be excited about the lead, it's a long way to go. Here's Height. Toss. Oh, goodness gracious. Good dig by Walsh. Outside, Reagan again. This time it's soft. Back set, Kolb. Dink. Broby keeps it alive. Big swing. Nicely done. What a play by Luke Bender.
Yeah, both teams just doing a great job of some of those instinctual plays. I mean, that really means coaches practice that. You practice using kind of the palm of your hand to defend, one-arm platform stuff. It's really something that coaches do.
Christian Aguirre with the serve. Swing into the net or not into the net, I shouldn't say, but it was number 17, Pierce, with the swing, and he was blocked. Will Overberger was there, as was Jack Reagan.
Yeah, Reagan really didn't even jump on that. He had about a palm over the net.
Aguirre serves too long. Go ahead.
And it was enough. It was just, he was in the right place, had the right timing.
Aiden Kolb to the serving line. Kolb with a good toss. Walsh comes up with it. Really nice job. Reagan, big swing. Sent it to the left of Kolb, and he couldn't come up with it. Tying at 3.
Yeah, that's going to be in system with the ball set to the outside, a foot off the net. That's Reagan's dream set.
Here he is at the serving line. If you're a Darby fan, you're glad he's in the back row, but then you have to deal with that. Big swing by Friend off the touch. That'll be a point for Darby.
Walsh was just a little bit slow with his hands. Had his hips in front of him instead of behind the ball.
It's interesting watching Jack Reagan out there. He's kind of a coach on the floor, talking to his players between plays, instructing, encouraging. That serve went long, so we're tied at 4.
Yeah, and I noticed that as well. He was talking to Walsh, his libero. Walsh is a senior. He's a sophomore. I mean, what great teammates to be able to put aside that kind of great difference, which is hard to do sometimes.
You got that right. Back row, that's called, dug out by Overberger. Near side, too long. And the touch. Sean Atkinson was begging. Go ahead.
Yeah, I really like how Darby has come out, though, in this second set. They're not playing scared at all.
Overberger to serve. The high toss. Good reception. Height gives it to Jones, and Jones puts it away. Sorry, that's 13. I've done that twice. Kingsley Aka.
Kingsley Aka.
The 3 and the 9 look a lot.
They really
very similar on the black background, so I apologize. Aka with the kill. It's Jones at the serving line. That's a service error. He thought he was going to climb over the tape. It did not.
Yeah, and he was trying to go down the line to get Reagan involved in serve receive. Always want to try to get your hitters passing, just so it takes them out of any kind of rhythm. And for Reagan, even in the back row, if you can take him out of a potential of hitting a pipe.
There's an ace. Andrew Broby.
Broby's only a sophomore as well. Talk about, having a sophomore running your team. It's a big ask for a young one, and he's doing a great job.
That's a pretty good swing. That one goes out. Good effort by Aka, but he couldn't keep it between the lines.
Yeah, and as we've seen, again, in system, getting the set they want. 3 or 4 balls now have gone out of bounds. Panthers need to keep these in play.
8-5, St. Ignatius. Back row, called. Dug out. Near side, into the block by Atkinson. Free ball across from the other side. That was Bender. Back set, Jones down the line, out of bounds. No touch. And a timeout taken on the floor by Hilliard Darby. St. Ignatius 9, Darby 5. More to come in set number 2 right after this timeout. St. Ignatius has cooled off, killing a little bit for the match. They're still hitting 333, but in this set, just 182. That's the downside for them. The upside for them is in this current set, Hilliard Darby is still hitting 0. That gives Ignatius a 4-point advantage, 9-5. Broby to serve out of the break. And as you pointed out last time, that point goes to the coach.
That's right.
Nice job, Evan Bell.
Don't think we don't keep track of those things.
I'll bet you do.
We absolutely do. We got to tell some of our diva players that, hey, I'm not far behind you on coach points.
Owen Friend to the serving line. Trailing by 3. Good float to the middle back, but Walsh comes up with it. Back set, it's off the antenna. That'll be a point for Darby. And they cut the deficit to just 2. Friend, as we mentioned, a 6-foot freshman, getting significant minutes in this match.
Coming in the back row, not only serving, playing defense.
Serves Walsh outside. Bender. And we've got a player from Darby under the net. That's Aiden Cobb. St. Ignatius 10, Darby 7. Stepping to the serving line is number 15, Adam Swiatkowski. Swiatkowski with the serve. Outside, Cobb. Dug up by Walsh. Broby with the set. Reagan with the touch. Outside, Kolb again. Here comes St. Ignatius on the attack. Friend keeps it alive. Height tries to go over the net, but standing there is the 6'7" Jack Reagan to block it back.
Yeah, Reagan just, again, he's just so long. There's not a whole lot you're going to do, especially when Height didn't have many options.
Yeah.
To kind of go up and over, and there wasn't any going around that.
Back set to Jones, who sent it across. There's Reagan, and Reagan just pounds it away. What a swing by Jack Reagan, the 6'7" sophomore.
That was an unobstructed kill.
Swiatkowski with the serve. Outside, Kolb off the antenna.
Yeah, so execution had to be at a much higher level percentage-wise for Hilliard Darby.
Good dig in the back, quick one, off the touch. Cannot keep it alive. That's a point for Kingsley Aka and the Hilliard Darby Panthers.
Yeah, and that was a nice play, and they just need a whole lot more of that. In system, being able to get their middles something quick so blockers can't both be up.
Alex Eldridge to serve. Serves Swiatkowski outside. And that's Jack Reagan. Big swing inside the back line for the point. I can't be sure, but it doesn't seem like Reagan's even sweating yet.
Yeah, I think that he's not. This really kind of makes me sad because I want him to have to work harder.
Height to the outside, Kolb into the block, they keep it alive. Height again, back set again, Kolb into the block again, 3 straight times, and each time St. Ignatius was equal to the task.
Luke Bender, 6'5". Will Overberger, 6'3", putting up the block against Kolb, who is 6 foot, and it's just causing some problems.
Kolb again. He cut it that time, and Reagan was able to come up with it with a one-handed lift. Outside, Kolb again hits Swiatkowski. Did not hit the scoreboard, came very close. There's a toss across, outside to Jack Reagan. Good dig by Eldridge. Jones down for point.
Yeah, that was a beautiful back row. They call it a red. And he was able to get his timing right. Chris Jones, just a beautiful cross-court shot from the back row.
Mason Height to serve now. Height, the 6-foot senior setter. And he hits the ball exceptionally hard. Received by Jack Reagan, back set, Bender into the block. Kept alive by Swiatkowski. To Reagan, dinked across, couldn't get it across. Tried to finesse it, didn't have quite enough.
I have some advice for Reagan. No need to finesse.
No need to finesse. You're 6'7", you're a monster, just crush the ball. 15-10, St. Ignatius with the lead. Height with the serve, dug out by Walsh. Back row, Swiatkowski. Eldridge can't handle it. Point, St. Ignatius. The Wildcats lead by 6.
Swiatkowski has kind of a unique arm swing, but man, when the ball's out in front of him, he's all the way back, but it's fast enough and he gets on top of the ball. Really, really nice swing out of the back row.
Aguirre serves Eldridge. Jones keeps it alive, and Height will send it across on a free ball. Here come the Wildcats. Overberger on the back set by Broby, puts it home.
Yeah, that was, I don't know if that was a mishit or an attempt to hit that kind of middle of the floor, that campfire area that's typically wide open. Either way.
Aguirre again, Eldridge. Bump set by Pierce. Jones sends it to Walsh outside. There's Reagan. Good dig by Eldridge. Height keeps it alive. Got a net violation against number 10, Mason Height of Hilliard Darby.
Yeah, I think it was a center line violation, but yeah, just the pass was too tight. Ball was hit out regardless.
18-10, Hilliard Darby takes the timeout. More to come after this. You are listening and watching OHSAA Boys Championship Volleyball on the NFHS Network. If there's a sport you want to learn more about that's a part of the OHSAA, visit www.ohsaa.org. You can find out when tournaments are. You can find out when championships take place. You can find out all there is to know about high school sports in the state of Ohio. OHSAA.org. Out of the timeout, St. Ignatius continues their run. A point against Darby there, 19-10, as Christian Aguirre continues to serve.
A lot of serving pressure being put on Darby from St. Ignatius servers.
Height with the back set. Cobb straight down the line off of Walsh. That's going to be a point for Darby. They get the ball back. Aiden Cobb with a point, and he'll go to the serving line.
It was a beautiful swing down the line.
19-11. Cobb with the high toss. Big swing. Swiatkowski with the dig. Quick one. Overberger. Over Pierce. And it looked to me like Pierce was a little late getting up on that block.
Yeah, and Overberger was off the net enough. He was able to take a full swing through. Very, very fast.
Jack Reagan to the serving line. The sophomore with the high toss, the big swing. Good reception by Cobb. Back set. Jones down in front of Jack Reagan for the point. Good side out for Darby.
Yeah, to dig that ball, he's got to get that 6'7" frame down to the floor.
New server in for Hilliard Darby, number 18, Logan Weber, in for the first time. Weber, a 6-foot senior defensive specialist. Serves Walsh outside. Atkinson, good dig in the back row. Bump to the outside. Jones down the line. Chris Jones with a good swing, picking up the point for Hilliard Darby.
Yeah, Jones, when they're in system, Hilliard Darby needs to honestly throw the ball up and let him go get it.
7-point deficit now for Hilliard Darby. Second serve coming from Logan Weber, and that's into the net. 21-13, St. Ignatius. Now, Jackie talked a lot in the first two games about the risk reward on jump serves and things of that nature, but you come into a situation like this where you're down 7, at some point don't you just say, hey, listen, we've got to keep it between the pins and we've got to keep it between the lines. At this point, a big-time jump serve, the risk may outweigh the reward.
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on where you are in the match.
Yes.
A first set, I would say go for broke, etc. Second set, maybe if you're missing them consistently, certainly, even just popping one over and then going back to the jump serve. But I think it's about when, and I think it's about, are you scoring points in other ways? Because if you're not, that jump serve can score you points.
Eldridge returns serve out of bounds, so Darby's kind of had the wheels fall off here in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Down by 10 again, 23-13. And Overberger needs 2 more to give his team a commanding 2-0 lead. Good pass, quick one. Aka with a good swing. He hung out there for a long time. Now he goes up and sends it on a first ball. Atkinson into the block, but it goes out of bounds, and so it's a set point for St. Ignatius.
I love how celebrations these days involve shoving the other person.
Right.
The girls do it too. We either jump in the air and we make contact and see if we can fall on the ground, or we just shove each other. I wish I knew when that became a thing.
Right? Winning makes me angry.
Yeah, like.
Back set. Good dig. Aka outside. Jones. Reagan keeps it alive. Eldridge outside to Jones. Cross court, that's in. Broby and Overberger had a moment where the ball went right between them. They looked at each other afterwards to solve the problem. 24-14.
For Darby, that was a great out-of-system set by Alex Eldridge, the libero, to set Jones up.
The jumper by Jones, received by Reagan in the back row. Outside, into the block, and out of bounds. And St. Ignatius wins set number 2, 25-15, 25-14, I should say, excuse me. And so St. Ignatius up 2-0. Set number 3 coming up in about 3 minutes. Stay right there. We'll be back with more. You are a part of the Weekend of Champions on the OHSAA and the NFHS Network. (25-14), the first 2 scores of this match. And so St. Ignatius looking to make a clean sweep here in set number 3. Hilliard Darby looking to extend the match and see if they can come back. We've seen it before. Last year we saw it in a Division I state championship game. So comebacks are possible, and with rally scoring, and there's just so many variables, Michelle, that just can let a team climb back in at a moment's notice.
Without a doubt. There sure are. And sometimes when you're up 2-0, your brain says, hey, you're up 2-0.
That's right.
I don't have to sweat as hard now. So we'll see if Iggy can keep from feeling that way.
Swiatkowski serves, and the ball goes right back over the net on an overpass. Dunked across. Height comes up with it. Eldridge with a set. Cross-court swing, going back up and putting it away. That time it's Carter Pierce getting the point for Hilliard Darby at the net. Aiden Cobb to the serving line. Cobb with the high toss. Good swing off the tape. Dug out by Jack Reagan. Back row. Height digs it. Eldridge with a second ball. Friend tosses it across. Good job avoiding the antenna, and now we've got one that goes out of bounds, so 2-0 Darby. Darby has led 2-0 in all 3 sets.
Yep. I do like how they come out and they fight. They have not packed it in.
High energy. Cobb once again. High toss. Good serve. Walsh comes up with it. Outside to Reagan. Cross court. Out of bounds. 3-0 Darby.
Just got behind that ball a little bit. Needs to be more on top of it.
Cobb avoiding the service error. Trying to keep the ball in play. See what can happen. High toss. And that one goes into the net. It did look like his mechanics were all off after his first couple were really nice.
Well, and that serves tough as it is, but then he was definitely trying to come down the line to Reagan. It's hard to do all of those things when you're jump top spin serving.
So 3-1. It was a good serve by Walsh. Dug out nicely. Broby sets back, and number 11, Luke Bender, puts it home. Nicely done.
Luke Bender, 6'5". You know, again, a lot of the young men for St. Ignatius look normal size, but then you realize they're all above 6 foot, and you're like, if I went out there, I'd look like a very, very small person.
No doubt. Height with the back set. Chris Jones, cross court, no touch, and it goes way out of bounds, so the point goes to St. Ignatius. They're tied at 3. Seamus Walsh to serve it again. Serves Eldridge. Height, back row. Too long. I believe that was Pierce coming from the back row. Couldn't keep it in play.
Yeah, and again, I like that play setup. They ran a fake with the middle, brought him right to the setter, ran the back row attack. Again, it's got to stay in bounds.
Friend in, caught the line. And the ladder official overrules and says it was out. And now Kolb comes over to ask if there was a touch. And the answer he got caused him to turn around frustrated. 5-3, St. Ignatius. Eldridge, they do keep it alive, and Jones sends it across. Good awareness. Back set, off the touch. And that was Will Overberger. 6-3, St. Ignatius. Timeout, Hilliard Darby. More to come after this timeout. St. Ignatius leads Hilliard Darby in set number 3, 6-3. You are listening and watching the OHSAA State Championship Weekend on NFHS Network. Seamus Walsh to the serving line for St. Ignatius out of the timeout. He serves Eldridge. Back set, Jones off the net, sends it down the line. Walsh digs it out. Back set to Bender. Eldridge. Cross court to Friend. He can't keep it in play. That's a point for Ignatius. They're up 4.
And again, just like we've kind of been saying, in system, dug the ball, good transition from both pin hitters, out of bounds by 6 to 8 feet. It's kind of been the tale of the day for Darby.
Cobb with a pass too close to the net. Height tried to adjust for Pierce, but the timing was off and the ball fell to the floor. 8-3, St. Ignatius. Walsh again. Continues to serve Eldridge. That one off his chest. Friend again misses the court. Trying to cut it. He was inside the 10-foot line, but he was 3 feet beyond the sideline.
And again, you know, you've got a block over there of 6'5" and 6'3" that you're trying to work around, and it's not nearly as easy as us analyzing it might make it sound.
That serve went long, so a serving error for Walsh. 9-4 the score. Darby gets it back, and serving will be number 17, Carter Pierce. Serves Reagan right back to him. Reagan too strong, out of bounds.
Yeah, Reagan was underneath the ball. He didn't get a good jump, and he was under the ball as opposed to on top of it.
It's 4 attack errors for Reagan now. 8 successful kills on 19 attacks. Height sends it across. Broby, back set. Into the block. Jones elevates. Height from the back row. That's Kolb. Dug out. Walsh with a bumper. Swiatkowski, and he mishits that one. Tried a roll shot, but couldn't even get it to the net.
That's hard when it's coming across your body and you've got to not only locate it, but time it.
Tough sledding. Reagan, Broby, quick one. And Overberger picks up the point for St. Ignatius, 10-6. Darby had a little momentum there. That's a good momentum switch. Christian Aguirre to the serving line.
Starting to see that potential matchup tomorrow of St. Xavier and St. Ignatius should be a good one.
Chris Jones down in front. Put it down in front of Christian Aguirre. Now Jones will go to the serving line, trailing by 3.
See if Jones can get a few points here from the serving line, make this third set interesting.
Serves it out of bounds. Another unforced error for Darby. Jack Reagan to serve. 11-7. St. Ignatius on top. High toss, big jump into the net. 11-8. Ignatius has the lead. Darby has the serve. Owen Friend to the serving line. Friend, like you might imagine, a freshman, has had some brilliant moments and had some less than brilliant moments in tonight's matchup.
Yeah, this experience will be invaluable for him, however, for the future. A great dig on coverage from Walsh.
Darby on the attack. Kolb down the line. Nicely done. Trying to keep it in play. Broby does that. Jones an overpass, but Height is able to win the joust to keep it alive. Reagan from the back row. Jones, Height, Kolb, Reagan again into the net. Free one across for Walsh.
Kind of a crazy rally we've got going on here.
And there's a big swing by Aka, but there for the block was Atkinson and Overberger.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that number 34, Sean Atkinson, is their spirit leader.
I think so. He is a passionate player. No question about that.
Well, he's a senior, too. This is his shot.
And he's in the limelight tonight. Quick one. Off the touch. Reagan keeps it alive. Good job navigating the antenna. Kolb pounds it down the line. Overberger couldn't dig that one. 12-9, St. Ignatius with the lead. Alex Eldridge to the serving line. Eldridge just a sophomore. And he serves into the net.
Too many unforced errors.
Indeed, indeed. Here's Andrew Broby. The toss. Got a rotation violation against Hilliard Darby.
Explaining to the coach now. I don't know if it's someone that wasn't someone who moved too early. We're talking about an alignment error here. Coach Bell trying to explain to our official,
and now
Sandy Lauer.
She's going to the official scorer's table to make sure that she's not wrong. So Sandy Lauer conversing with the official scorer on the far side of the court, on far side for us on the court. You're looking at it kind of in reverse from us. An extended timeout here as Andrew Broby gets called into.
Looks like she did verify that she was correct. I mean, using the digital volley right score system, it's pretty trustworthy.
It is. Broby serves, Friend receives. Height does what he can, but there's not much he can do with that, as that ball is not a great pass. And it comes back over to Broby. 6-point lead for St. Ignatius. A little good housekeeping on the court there. They had to get a towel out. Here's Broby to serve, leading by 6. Floater. Quick one. Pierce with a hit, but it's off the block. Pushed across, Atkinson. Jones, Height, outside. Kolb, off of Walsh. Point for Darby.
Yeah, that time Walsh decided to try to dig that kind of with a fist motion. Want him to just throw that ball. It can be really, really ugly on first contact.
15-10 to the serving line is Mason Height. High toss. Crushes it. Dug out by Swiatkowski. Height. Timing error between he and Pierce, and the point goes to Ignatius.
And when you're running an offense as quickly as they want to, timing is the crucial factor.
Adam Swiatkowski. Outside. Jones is too long. The point goes to Ignatius, and they're starting to pull away. Timeout taken by Hilliard Darby. 17-10, St. Ignatius on top. More to come after this timeout. You're watching Championship Weekend on the NFHS Network. Both teams at this mark of the third set are hitting negative. Michelle, help us understand how you can hit negative.
Well, if you have a certain number of kills, but you have more errors, it's because you subtract errors from kills and divide by attempts. So the more errors you have, the fewer kills, then you get a negative hitting percentage.
Because in most sports, the bottom is 0. Right, I mean,
right.
If you're 0 for 11,
right.
You're batting 0. You're not batting negative. But in volleyball, it's one of the unique things that you can actually hit a negative score.
Yes.
Outside, the big fella, Reagan. He's too strong on it.
Yeah, when you decide to take the mistakes you make and you take them away from the good things you've done, and the more often you attack the ball, then that's when that negative percentage can go up.
Reagan with reception off the tape, back set. Atkinson across. Height gives it to Pierce, and Pierce finds the back corner perfectly. That was well executed by Darby.
You know, what I like is that Hilliard Darby came in with a game plan. They knew who they wanted to serve. They knew in system what they wanted to do with their middles. And, you know, kudos to them for executing their game plan. But they just, again, they weren't able to keep the ball in play nearly as much as what they would have needed to do.
Aiden Cobb serves it out of bounds, 19-12 for St. Ignatius. And Seamus Walsh to the serving line. Back row, call, big swing, but it's dug out. Here comes Darby again, back set, Jones off the touch, that'll be a point for Darby. Chris Jones with a big kill.
Yeah, I think once Jones, you know, plays a little bit more volleyball and speeds up his arm swing, the balls that are going out, they're going to start landing in. He's just got a little bit more volleyball to play, and he's going to be really a force to reckon with.
Reagan cross court. Height keeps it alive, and then off the block, that's Kingsley Aka with the kill. Conversation being had between Jack Reagan and the up official.
Reagan wanted something about back row block, but Aka hit the ball and he was front row. Not sure.
Logan Weber with the serve, second one down the line. Back set, big swing, goodness gracious, kept alive. 3-1 across. Roby outside to Reagan, off the tape and in front of Height. Good effort by Height, couldn't quite get there, and the tape really slowed that ball up after a vicious swing by Reagan. (20-14). St. Ignatius with the lead and the serve. Christian Aguirre. Height with the set. Aka into the block and got a net violation against number 10.
Kind of went up and took the net with him on his block, his arm swing for his block.
Overberger got a little over exuberant on that one. 20-15. Jones to the serving line. Serves Walsh in the back row. Roby gives it to Overberger, who goes up and hits it down. Nicely done.
Overberger's done quite a bit today.
He really has.
He's served really well. He's been up and he's been active. You know, middles can't get set unless you're up there and a setter knows. They don't see you, they hear you.
Reagan. Good dig. Walsh keeps it alive. What a play. Here comes Darby again. Jones. Sorry, that's Aka. Into the scoreboard and on the other side, so that point goes to Darby. Good job by Aka being quick off the floor that time.
Yeah, and what a dig by Walsh. Kind of went across his body with his right arm, but underneath.
Looked like it hurt.
Well, I think it probably did, colliding with the floor.
Back row Reagan, dug up by Friend. Height with a bump to the outside. Cobb down the line. Cross court, or over that, I should say. Overberger outside. Cobb down for the point. Hilliard Darby continues to battle. Trailing by 4, 21-17 in this third set.
And their crowd definitely appreciates it. They're back up on their feet, feeling a little bit of a change of momentum.
Owen Friend with the toss. Floater. Back set. Overberger hits the tape and it comes back. Another point for Darby. They're only down 3.
They've got some fight in them.
Friend again. Into the net. 22-18. St. Ignatius with the lead. Overberger to the serving line. Jack Reagan in the back row. You would think that might be good for Darby, but he is a prolific back row attack person as well. Height outside. Kolb down in front of Reagan and Aguirre, and the point goes to Darby.
And what Darby's doing right now is they are shooting a really, really fast ball to the outside, hitting it cross, which means that it's going between Reagan and Aguirre, and they're not two of your best defensive players. They'd rather have Walsh digging that.
Too long on the swing by Atkinson. 22-20.
I would say St. Ignatius needs a stop here, so they need to transition with a good pass and get a kill.
Eldridge serves Reagan. Quick one in the middle. That's blocked. And on the floor. The officials call her St. Ignatius is asking for it to be out. Nobody else is calling it out, so now the floor official comes over to have a conference with the ladder official. This is a big call.
Yeah, what a swing when you're already in the 20s would this be. Initially, St. Ignatius was acting as if it were out.
They were, but no official raised their flag.
Full scale.
The line judge on the far side would be the only one aside from the floor official, so that's John Topp. He's the only one who would have been able to see it, certainly not Laura Rieger, who's all the way over on the opposite side.
Sometimes, though, the pole with the pad does obscure that view.
Right.
So it's very possible they could replay this. If no one got a look, they could absolutely replay it.
So the conference continues between the four officials. 22-20, St. Ignatius has the lead. If the point stands for Darby, they are just 1 point away from tying this thing up. If it goes side out to St. Ignatius, that could be a backbreaker for Hilliard Darby. We'll see. And after conversation, they give it to St. Ignatius. Out of bounds. So Andrew Groby will go to the serving line. And before we can do anything, Aiden Kolb comes over, as does Jack Reagan. The official on the ladder is talking to both players, both captains, I should say. William Alt is that official's name, and that conversation is now over. And it'll be Broby to serve. 23-20, St. Ignatius leads. Height, quick one. Walsh comes up with it. Broby with the bump. Tight at the net. Kept alive. Pierce sends it over. Broby, back set. Jones, outside. Kolb, into the net. Point, Ignatius, and now it is match point for the Wildcats.
Chris Slater up on the block. I'm not sure if he blocked that. He was up. Not sure if it cleared the net.
He was in position, though. You're exactly right. Back row. Jones off the tape. And that's going to be a point. Walsh couldn't quite get over there. I think the tape maybe threw off his approach a little bit.
Yeah, I think he took a step, but then when it hit the tape, he tried to slow down and then restart. Like your car on a snowy Monday morning.
Pretty hard to do, yeah. Mason Height. Dug out by Walsh. outside. Too long. Oh, they've got a touch, so it's not too long. And the point goes to St. Ignatius. And the Wildcats have won this one and will play tomorrow in the state championship match. Final score, 25-14, 25-14, 25-21. For the Wildcats, their record improves to 24-3. For Hilliard Darby, their season comes to a close with a record of 21-6. Michelle, before we talk about the potential of tomorrow's matchup, let's talk about a couple of things that stood out to you from this one.
Well, I think size advantage can be thrown around as an easy, they're definitely going to win because of their size. It's not always true. But when it was as big of a size difference, I mean, there really, really was a big edge in terms of blocking. And there ended up being 5 blocks to 1. And, that again, those are momentum changers. Those are points that kind of establish your dominance as a physical team, and I think that's a big deal. Again, I would like to say I think Darby came in knowing what they had to do. They just weren't able to do it because of the offensive power that St. Ignatius has.
As we peek around the corner to tomorrow a little bit, we know what St. Xavier has. We know what St. Ignatius has. Big swingers, lots of power on offense, pretty good defenses.
I mean, size-wise, this is a really, really good matchup. I think either team is more than capable of winning. I know who I think in my coaching head is going to win, but I'm going to wait.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to wait. But, I think size-wise and the hitters, the outside hitters that we have, I think that's going to be fun.
And it could be a great defensive struggle as well because both of these teams are very good at digging balls out. So that'll do it from here on this first night of championship weekend. Tomorrow, state championship games at noon for Division II, at 3 o'clock for Division I. We hope you'll choose to join us then. Once again, the final score of this second semifinal game tonight. Hilliard Darby falls to St. Ignatius 25-14, 25-14, 25-21. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, it's St. Ignatius and St. Xavier for the Division I state championship. Now for Frank Stidd and Brianna Stidd, for all of the folks at the OHSAA, including Tim Street and all the great folks in his office, and of course for my partner Michelle Mimna, my name's Chris Solwecki. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope to talk to you